This whole concept was revealed to me starting with Lamentations.and. The adversary hath spread out his hand upon her pleasant things, for she hath seen that the heathen entered into her sanctuary, whom thou didst command they should not enter into thy congregation. This precept first appears in Leviticus 10:10. Aaron was told that he was to put a difference between holy and unholy, between clean and unclean. 2 Chronicles 23:19. The porters were set at the gates of the house of the Lord, that none which was unclean in anything should enter in. In Ezekiel 44:23, the priests were told to teach God's people the difference between holy and profane, and cause them to discern between unclean and clean. The boundary is spiritual. It's not the outwardly unclean that were forbidden from entering into the house of God. It was the spiritually unclean. It was those with an uncircumcised heart. In Romans 2:28 through 29, we read, "He is a Jew which is one inwardly, and the circumcision is that of the heart." The profaning of God's house is a key reason Judah was destroyed. There was theft and murder and adultery and other abominations going on in Judah at the time. But God drew the line when these things were allowed to enter into his holy congregation, into God's sanctuary. In Habakkuk 1:4, we read, "Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth." God demands righteous judgment, especially in his holy house. And when the unsaved are allowed to enter, righteous judgment becomes harder. The modern-day church is God's house. In Ezekiel 9, we read that judgment was to begin at God's sanctuary. In 1 Peter 4:17, we read the exact same language for the modern church. Judgment must begin at the house of God. 1 Timothy 3:15, the house of God, which is the church of the living God, the pillar, the ground of truth. God's house is not for the unsaved. It wasn't in the Old Testament. It's not in the New Testament. 1 Corinthians 5:6 through 8. Your glorying is not good. Know you not a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump? Purge out therefore the old leaven, that you may be a new lump, as you are unleavened. For even Christ our Passover is sacrificed for us. Therefore let us keep the feast not with the old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice or wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. Paul's command in Corinthians is not a narrow local exception. It confirms the standing holy boundary principle. Like in Jeremiah, the apostles command believers to come out when you see unbelievers allowed to stay within the holy congregation. In Jeremiah 21:8 through 10, "Behold, I set before you the way of life and the way of death. He that abideth in this city shall die, but he that goeth out shall live. For I have set my face against this city for evil, and not for good." In 2 Corinthians 6:14 through 18, "But be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. What fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? What agreement hath the temple of God with idols? Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord. Touch not the unclean thing." In Ephesians we read, "Be ye not partakers with them. Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them." A much more detailed study is attached at the bottom of this video. Please consider downloading it and praying about it before the Lord. Thank you for taking the time to look at this study. Have a blessed day.